and Father Maroon has been at this group for more than 30 years. He and a few original people involved with it, but our group has had like political scientists and lawyers and doctors and engineers, and we've had a lot of smart people investigate equalization. We know we're being burnt down here. We know we've investigated enough to know that Cape Breton is generating it but doesn't get it. So the poorer we're kept here, the more that comes into the province, and we pretty much give that as our message. But what we wanted to talk about tonight was the importance of a few things that are happening, like independent people running as an MLA. I want to tell you a quick little story. When we started getting involved with, and I first got involved with this, we went to the Civic Center and I talked to someone down there who I know, because I used to be a nurse before this, and I went down there and I had a talk with someone who I knew that worked at City Hall. And I asked the person, because I was going to the meetings, I was listening to the numbers, and I'm like, this can't be right. There can't be have all this money coming in and we not get any of it. And so I asked this person, what is the problem? And she said to me, she looked at me and said, the MLAs, there's your problem. We elect them, we pay them, they go to Halifax and they do what they're told in Halifax. So when Peter and Paul, when they first came to and talked to us about running this independent.ns, we were really excited about that, because there's no one pulling the strings of an independent. There's no one, they're not answering to a big business person somewhere up in Halifax that owns office towers and everything else. So we were excited about that. But when that person told me that, I had a really good look at it and watched it. And then of course the elections started happening. And what was happening was these people were contacting us saying, oh, we want to fight for equalization. And the minute they were elected, they wouldn't talk to us. And it was election after election after election, this was happening. So just wanted to tell you that little story, because that's what's actually happening here. That's why the NSCF, or Nova Scotians for Equalization and Fairness, that's why we're in existence. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about Father Maroon, because when he approached me, so my dad and Father Maroon were best friends. We go way back. I remember him since I was a little tiny toddler. He came after me and asked me to come with this and get on board with the equalization business, and I did, because of who he was. He's been fighting this for so long, it's not funny. It's 34 years or 35 years this year that he's been at this. Not only does he fight for it, but he pays for it, and he funds it. He funds the advertising you see online. He funds all the boosting of the postings on Facebook and other social media platforms. He has a TikTok channel. He has a Facebook page. He has Instagram. He has it all to get his message out, and it's being pretty effective. It's really starting to take place here. So, and more and more people are getting educated. So just before I go, I want to talk a little bit about the numbers. So this year, Nova Scotia will get $3.284 billion in equalization, which is roughly about a fifth of the provincial budget. We operate on about 11 or 12 billion dollars a year, and equalization is 3.284 billion. When the province capped, you all know the number 15 million. You all hear that number. CBRM gets 15 million. Well, the total number that the provincial government takes out and uses for equalization is $30 million, and the CBRM gets 51% of that, half. So we get $15 million. When they put that in place, the equalization that came to the province was less than $1 billion. It was 993 million or something like that. That has now grown to 3.284 billion, and they still give us $15 million, and that's it. So we pay back more in provincial costs than we get, and they do that every year. So like this year, we pay back 22 million. So they give us 15 million, we pay back 22 million. So we start off every year with a negative $7 million in our coffers, and the province takes that money and sticks it in the general revenue, and we don't know where it's spent. Now, the Constitution says what it comes for: to lower taxes, to create opportunities, to develop infrastructure. That's why it comes. It comes to create opportunities for the residents of the CBRM, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, for any receiving province. So our poor fiscal capacity is what generates it, and we don't get it. So That's why we're fighting so hard for equalization. That's why we're never going to stop. Our board members, Martha's here, Jamie's here, Jessica's here. Our board members, they're dedicated, and we're dedicated because we understand what's happening, and we're never going to stop fighting. So just wanted to give you a little talk about that, and we're really glad and happy that we're going to hear about Peter and Paul, what they're going to talk to us about voteindependent.ns, because for us looking at that, that is a solution to an equalization problem. Think about it. You've got 8 or 9 MLAs that are up there in legislature, and they're not tied to a party. No one can pull their strings. They have power. And that is really, really, really an interesting concept to us. So we're excited to hear what they have to say about that. Anyway, I won't tie you up any more of your time. I want to introduce Father Maroon, and just wanted to thank him publicly for all he does for the community with regards to funding this organization, supporting us, and actually working every day at it himself at 93 years old. So that's an amazing feat. So come on up, Father Maroon, and have fun.
Thank you very much, Russell. It's a pleasure to work with all the people that are involved with the equalization group. They're very dedicated and they're very intelligent. They know what's going on and they don't mind fighting for it. And I don't mind fighting for it either. It costs about, I'd say, around $30,000 a year for this fight. I don't mind spending that money. I'm not worried about my future. I can feed myself. I have a farm at Glen Albert Drive in Big Pond, and that's what I live on. Anyway, it's very exciting for me to hear that the independent MLAs could do so much for this process, because they would have the power of government. Not having government as the top number in the legislature, but when, like, for instance, the Liberals and Conservatives are like this, the independents can add to one or the other and make sure that their policies that they put forward are carried out by the government that's in power. So that's why it's very important for us to elect independent MLAs, because they listen to us. They're our voice, not the regular Conservatives, Liberals, and NDPs. They have not listened to us. They're listening to their whips. The whips call them every morning and tell them who to talk to and what to say. We should be telling them what to say, and that's my message. My message is that you have the power. You are the voters. You have the power, and you should support those that will fight for you in the legislatures. I thank people like Russell and all the others in the NSCF who are fighting so much. It's their brains I count on, not my own. But I think they're great people, and I think you are great people to be here tonight. And I congratulate you, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you.